As winter tightens its icy grip across Eastern Europe, the days grow shorter and the nights colder. In Ukraine, the season brings not just snow and frost, but a deepening crisis that reaches far beyond the battlefield. Russia's calculated attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure have left entire cities and towns vulnerable, plunging millions into darkness and uncertainty. These strikes are not random. They are a deliberate strategy to break the spirit of a nation by targeting its most vital lifelines. The consequences ripple through every aspect of daily life. These are not just military maneuvers. They are a direct assault on the routines, hopes, and well-being of millions of ordinary people. Imagine waking up to a world without light, heat, or clean water. For countless Ukrainian families, this is not a distant nightmare. It is their daily reality, endured with each sunrise and sunset. Power plants lie in ruins, water treatment facilities are silent, and heating systems fail as temperatures outside drop well below freezing. The basic comforts of home have become luxuries, and survival is a daily challenge. The struggle for survival now unfolds in kitchens, living rooms, and hospitals, not just on the front lines. Families huddle together for warmth, improvising meals by candlelight, while doctors and nurses work tirelessly in darkened wards, fighting to save lives without reliable power. The loss of power means children can't study for school, businesses are forced to close their doors, and hospitals risk losing critical equipment needed to care for the sick and injured. The rhythm of daily life is disrupted at every turn. For the most vulnerable, the elderly, children, and the sick, the cold is not just uncomfortable, it is life-threatening. Many are forced to endure freezing temperatures indoors, relying on blankets and the kindness of neighbors to survive. Yet, amid the darkness and hardship, Ukrainians show remarkable resilience. Communities come together, sharing food, blankets, and hope. Volunteers brave the cold to deliver aid, and neighbors support each other through the long, dark nights. Repair crews work around the clock, risking their lives to restore the grid. Even under the constant threat of renewed attacks, these workers press on, determined to bring light and warmth back to their communities. This is not just a story of hardship, but of a nation refusing to be broken. In the face of adversity, Ukrainians stand united, their resolve shining brighter than any blackout. Ukraine's fight is now as much about keeping the lights on as it is about defending its borders. Every repaired wire, every restored light, is an act of defiance and hope. Against an adversary intent on extinguishing their spirit, Ukrainians are determined to endure, and to emerge from the darkness together. Russia's attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure are massive, relentless, and highly coordinated, representing one of the most significant threats to the country's stability since the war began. Each week, waves of drones and missiles are unleashed, targeting critical infrastructure with precision and overwhelming force. Ukraine's Air Force and air defense systems work tirelessly to intercept these threats, often shooting down dozens of drones and missiles in a single night. But the sheer volume and frequency mean that some inevitably get through, causing catastrophic damage to vital systems. The main targets are thermal power plants, natural gas facilities, and substations, key nodes that keep the country running. Even the railway network, which is essential for moving people, goods, and military supplies, has come under heavy fire, disrupting daily life and emergency response. Russia's strategy is to create a domino effect, crippling civilian life by targeting these key points, leaving millions without electricity, heat, or water, especially during the harsh winter months. Drones and missiles are used in tandem, overwhelming Ukrainian defenses and ensuring that at least some attacks succeed in their destructive mission. While Russia claims these are legitimate military targets, the devastation to civilian life is undeniable. Families are left in darkness, cold, and uncertainty. Ukrainian leaders and international observers widely condemn these strikes as terror tactics, designed to break the spirit and resilience of the Ukrainian people. The loss of power, heat, and water is not just collateral damage, it's a deliberate strategy, aiming to make daily life unbearable and force Ukraine into submission. This is a war waged not just on the battlefield, but on the very fabric of daily life, testing the endurance and unity of an entire nation. Ukraine's cities bear the brunt of these attacks, with millions plunged into crisis. In Dnipro, a drone strike on a residential building killed sleeping civilians, showing how infrastructure attacks spill into tragedy. Kharkiv faces rolling blackouts and water shortages, forcing residents to plan their lives around fleeting hours of power. Kyiv, the capital, endures emergency power cuts, leaving neighborhoods dark for hours and disrupting every aspect of city life. Even the metro and traffic lights are affected, underscoring the reach of these strikes. In smaller cities like Kremenchuk, the situation is dire. No electricity, no water, and only partial heating. Residents revert to survival basics: bottled water, camp stoves, and layers of clothing against the cold. These scenes reveal how quickly modern cities can descend into humanitarian crisis. The energy war has turned daily life into a struggle for survival. For millions of Ukrainians, the loss of basic utilities has transformed daily life into a constant struggle for survival. Every day brings new challenges, and the comforts once taken for granted have become distant memories. Darkness now fills homes and streets, making even the simplest tasks, like cooking, studying, or just moving safely from room to room, difficult and sometimes dangerous. The absence of light is more than an inconvenience, it's a threat to safety and well-being. People depend on candles and the glow of phone screens, rationing every bit of battery life as if it were gold. Each charge is carefully preserved, and every bit of light is cherished. Without electricity, water pumps stop working, forcing families to fetch water from distant sources, often in freezing temperatures. The simple act of getting water becomes a daily ordeal, especially for the elderly and children. The lack of heating is not just uncomfortable, it can be deadly. Homes grow as cold as the outdoors, and every breath is visible in the frigid air. Illness and hypothermia are constant threats. To survive, Ukrainians bundle up in layers, huddle together under blankets, and seal windows with plastic to keep out the biting cold. Every effort is made to hold on to warmth, no matter how small. The psychological toll is immense. Uncertainty, stress, and anxiety dominate daily life, as families worry about the next blackout or how long the cold will last. The darkness weighs heavily on everyone's mind. Every brief return of power sparks a frantic rush. Families cook meals, charge every device and power bank, and try to do laundry before the lights go out again. These moments of electricity are precious and fleeting. Yet, in the face of hardship, communities come together. Neighbors share food and supplies, volunteers distribute aid, and support networks form to help those most in need. Ingenuity and compassion flourish in the darkest times. The struggle is exhausting, both physically and emotionally, but the determination to endure remains unbroken. Parents comfort children, and families find strength in each other. Even in darkness, Ukrainians refuse to let their spirit be dimmed. Laughter, hope, and pride persist, lighting up even the coldest nights. Their resilience is a quiet act of defiance, a testament to the unbreakable will of a people determined to survive and overcome, no matter how long the night lasts. As winter deepens, Ukraine faces the terrifying prospect of a humanitarian disaster if power and heat can't be restored. Experts warn that if Kyiv's main power plants fail for even a few days, heating pipes could burst, leaving large parts of the city without heat for the season. Attacks have already slashed natural gas output, forcing Ukraine to rely on reserves and costly imports. The energy system, once resilient, is now fragile after repeated strikes. Centrenergo, a key provider, has seen its capacity drop to zero after major attacks. The race to repair the grid before the coldest months is urgent. Millions depend on it. This winter could be the hardest yet, with little margin for error. The deliberate targeting of energy infrastructure turns the weather itself into a weapon. Ukraine's survival hinges on restoring power before the freeze sets in. Ukrainian leaders call Russia's attacks on energy infrastructure acts of terror against civilians. President Zelenskyy highlights the human cost, emphasizing that ordinary people, not military targets, are suffering. Ministers detail the scale of destruction and the immense challenge of restoring services. Energy experts warn of a grid on the brink, with scheduled blackouts to prevent total collapse. The message is clear: Ukraine needs advanced air defenses and technical aid to survive the winter. These calls are not just for help, they're a plea to the world not to look away. The fight is for survival, dignity, and the right to live in safety. Ukraine's leaders and experts stand united, rallying both citizens and allies. Ukraine is not just defending, it's striking back, targeting Russian energy infrastructure with long-range drones. These attacks disrupt Russian oil refineries, fuel depots, and substations, imposing a cost for aggression. Ukrainian strikes have reached deep into Russia, causing blackouts and damaging key facilities. The goal: disrupt Russia's war machine and show that the conflict is not confined to Ukrainian soil. Oil refineries are prime targets, hurting Russia's military logistics and economy. Ukraine's strikes are precise, aiming to avoid civilian casualties while maximizing impact. Some allies worry about escalation, but Ukraine insists on its right to self-defense. Retaliatory strikes are a message. Ukraine will not be a passive victim. After each attack, utility workers become Ukraine's unsung heroes, braving danger to restore power, heat, and water. Their work is urgent and perilous, often under threat of renewed strikes. The government's top priority is rapid restoration, mobilizing crews and sourcing scarce equipment. International partners are vital, supplying transformers and technical aid. Ukraine is also decentralizing power generation and building physical defenses to protect infrastructure. Communities support repair crews, share resources, and organize to help each other. Recovery is not just about repairs, it's about innovation and adaptation under pressure. The collective determination to rebuild is a powerful act of defiance. Social solidarity and resilience are Ukraine's greatest strengths. The nation's will to recover is unbreakable. Russia's energy war is a test of Ukraine's national resilience. The goal is to break the will of the people by making life unbearable. Yet hardship has forged unity and a shared sense of purpose. The struggle for warmth and light is now a second front in the war. International support, air defenses, generators, technical aid is a lifeline. The world's response will help determine Ukraine's fate this winter. As the cold deepens, the conflict becomes a battle between cruelty and fortitude. Ukrainians fight to preserve the infrastructure that sustains life. Their resilience is the nation's most vital energy source. Against all odds, the spirit of Ukraine continues to burn brightly.